Where is Donkey Kong in this film? After the last film, I thought he would be a part of the main group. He's not here at all. Did he just go back to his homeland? Let me just say, I didn't really like this movie, and that doesn't mean that you can't like it. It just wasn't made for me. But if you did like this movie, I should probably warn you, this review is going to be so negative, and if you are going to get frustrated, that click off now. I won't be mad. I honestly wouldn't have even gone to see this film if my family wasn't going and made me an offer, and I thought, this can't be that bad, and it was not bad as I thought, but that was not a high bar. But since I did go see the movie, here is my spoiler review of Mario Galaxy movie. So on what I thought was good, the voice acting was fine. On most characters, Luigi in particular, were good. Although every time he tried to get Mario to confess his feelings for Peach, I cringed. Whilst most were good in the voice acting range, Mario, Rosalina, and Peach were all terrible. They had no emotion to them, and I shouldn't be surprised they all were the big names that had no good voice acting credits to them, and they were just here to put butts in seats. I never wanted to hate Chris Pratt's Mario, but I cannot defend his atrocity of a performance. I'm probably making it sound way worse than it was, but when you have him next to Luigi and Bowser, who were good at their voice acting talents, it just made a drastic comparison to how little Chris Pratt had a good voice acting career ahead of him. The look of the movie was also really amazing. I feel like the space aesthetic that was in the film made it look way better than the first film did. I have seen better animated films look much nicer than this. Heck, I've even seen better animated shows look nicer than this, but this film did have a nice look to it, and I really hope that they don't screw up the next film by making it look complete garbage. I like the character designs on most characters. They felt like they were a great depiction from the games to the movies in a 3D aesthetic to an animated film, but I just really hated Peach's face. It was so horrifying. Did anyone else get a feeling that she was made to be a horror villain instead of an actual good, nice character? It felt like her eyes were way too big, her mouth was way too small, and every time she spoke, it was just like so stupid, and it was just so horrifying, and I just didn't like it. And still on Peach, was anyone really surprised when it was revealed her and Rosalina were family? I never saw or played the Mario games beside Mario Kart, but even I saw it coming from a mile away. And on that reveal, it felt like the Mario movie just had multiple different stories that they were trying to balance out, but then they ultimately just couldn't land on one story that they wanted to go with. There was one story where Mario was trying to confess his feelings to Peach, one story where Bowser was trying to live up to what his kid sees him as, one story where Peach is trying to deal with her backstory, but nope, we don't need all those stories. We just give you inklings and little drips of them along the way, and none of them had a significant payoff. But instead, the full story was Bowser Jr. was being completely stupid and just an idiotic character. And I didn't mind Bowser Jr. as the antagonist. I felt like he was fine, especially for the first part of the movie. But eventually, especially after Bowser joined him, it felt like he was just a rehash of the first movie's villain. Did anyone in the movie hear that little star say the F-bomb? I was just sitting next to my brother when the star was talking, and it said, "Princess Peach, I fuckingly found you." Like, it was meant to be finally, but it ended up sounding like the F-bomb. I don't know how that got past the screening, and my brother and me just turned to each other and go, I can't believe we've just heard an F-bomb in the movie. And from what you heard, you can probably tell I didn't like these characters, and most characters didn't even have a point to the movie. Really, you could have just drawn this movie down to Bowser Jr., Mario, Princess Peach, and Rosalina, and this movie would not have changed. But nope, we need the side characters: Toad to say his stupid quips, Star Fox to give them a ride, Luigi to try and get Mario to confess his feelings to Peach, and Yoshi because we teased him in the last movie. It felt like Yoshi, just because he was teased in the last movie, they had to include him here. And his role could have just been solved by any other character. Oh, I don't know, maybe DK? Donkey Kong? He was introduced in the last film. Why did you not expand on him in this film? But onto Star Fox as well. Why introduce him here? He is not a Mario character. He wasn't needed in this film besides providing them a ride. Despite the fact that I loved him and I found him funny and his charisma was great. And I am so happy that they didn't try forcing a love triangle between him, Peach, and Mario. And I like how Mario and him had a great bond in the film, although it came out of nowhere. I just felt him like a useless character, and although I liked him in this film, I hope they don't give him his own solo film. I want him to just live in this little pocket of the Mario universe and not let him be overly ruined by giving him his own movie where he becomes this one-dimensional character like Mario. But an actual good thing in this movie was Bowser's redemption. In this story, I wish could have been the whole movie. It could have been focused on, and it had so much potential, but unfortunately they didn't, and it was abandoned straight away as soon as he got abducted by Bowser Jr. But still on Bowser, Mario acted like a child with him. Whenever Bowser was trying to show him that painting, which ultimately was stupid, but I just didn't like how Bowser was trying to redeem himself and was actually redeeming himself, but Mario showed him no grace. But as soon as Bowser does something actually kind of nice for Mario, he goes, I guess you aren't that bad of a guy. It felt like a switch flipped in him, and it was. They just needed Mario to feel betrayed by Bowser so that there could be stakes for the final battle, which there were none. Mario was such a one-dimensional character. He acted like a 2-year-old, whereas he could have acted like this great superhero who overestimated this new threat after he defeated Bowser in the first film, but it felt like he had no character arc. I just didn't like him much as a character, and Chris Pratt's voice acting didn't help with that. It felt like just a great portrayal of what Mario could have been in this film. I hate how Peach's and Mario's won't they relationship ended with just a kiss on the cheek. It was not them committing to an actual relationship between the characters. It was committing to them saying, hey, we're going to drag this out for at least another film so that we can expand on this plotline even more, even though this could have all been solved in this one film. I just hate it. It's like them saying, we have nothing useful for these characters to do going forward, so we are just going to let them be a complete waste here. But on this, I finally finished this review, and this movie wasn't a complete waste of time. I liked the movie. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. There were definitely things I could see why people liked the movie. It wasn't ever made for me as a person who's never played the Mario games and who likes an actual cohesive story. And that might seem I'm dunking on the people who like the movie, but if you like it, that's all good for you. It just was never made for me. But thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. And if you want to add anything, whether you like the movie, whether you didn't, whether you want to say something I didn't mention, comment down below, because I really want to hear what you think. And as always, this is Movie Nerd signing off. Yoshi, beat it!